Caste, Indian caste is. I thank to lovebirds. Stayed away for a
All
long
Gen
time.
Z is behind you.
Yeah. I won't never say all our medicines are 100%.
Hello guys, this is Dr. Pal Manikam. Welcome to another episode of our podcast series, Gut Feeling with Dr. Pal. We have a very interesting guest in this episode, Dr. Sivaraman. I'm a huge fan of him. He is having a huge language prowess in Tamil. His speech is like so commanding, and he has given so many health tips over the last few years. He's very active in social media, and he is a Siddha Medicine doctor as well. So I know him very personally. So I thought I'll bring him on board and we'll discuss about what is the difference between allopathy and Siddha? Why are we always fighting? Is there a way that we can commonly integrate this medicine practice and maybe give the best outcome to the patient? And maybe we shouldn't fight like we are superior and they are superior. We had a very deep, insightful conversation. We talked about millets, why millet should be used, why millet is good for gut, what are the different types of millets, how should we use the millets, at what level and what frequency. There was a detailed conversation as well. And we also talked about individual ingredient like turmeric, fenugreek seeds, kadukai, Indian chestnut. All these could be potentially included in our dietary pattern. I was so excited for the episode. I'm sure you will be. Let's dive deep into it. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Glad to meet you.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
I'm a huge follower of your talks.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a huge follower of your talks because we share the same concept like food is medicine. To my audience from Tamil Nadu, they know that you are a wonderful orator in Tamil. I am going to make you speak in English in this.
That's the biggest challenge I'm taking. Okay, I will ready.
I am more than, of course, I'm a big fan of your medical information. The command on your Tamil language, வேற level.
That is because of my teachers.
Your teachers,
I have to thank my Tamil teacher who taught me in my 8th standard, who make me to stand in the classrooms first in the podium to talk in a good Tamil. So without a particular ra ucharippu. So that's why from my school days I started talking in the stages and acting, dancing, everything. In that
Nice. Dancer.
That's a one phenomenal thing. Only in the school days.
So the hidden talent needs to come out.
Yep.
So and then I also the way that you are commanding the audience. Even if you talk for like 30-40 minutes, we are like glued to you. And then you were a good speaker right from the start, sir? Or they started?
Yeah, I started my public speaking only in the later time. Only I usually first started my writing. I used to write in the column, particularly in the Tamil column. First I started in Dinamani center page. There I used to write about social things as well as common medical things. Those things I used to write in the center pages. And after that, I was an activist in particularly in the area of BT Brijal era. At the time, we were all against the genetically modified food, genetically modified food crops, which is when we forced to introduce at the time in India. So during that period, with our late Nammalvaraya, as well as Nel Jayaraman, I used to meet a lot of farmers, as well as I used to propagate about why we should not want those kind of genetically modified crops here. So these kind of small lectures I used to give there. And I used to write in public papers, particularly I can say Ananda Vigadan only promoted me at that time. They gave a very big space in Vigadan. Continuously for 4-5 years I wrote in Ananda Vigadan. The first column, Aram Thinai, that is a huge welcome paper at the time. So Aram Thinai came as a book also. It is a very book bestseller at the time.
Oh, nice.
At that after that book published and it went very well. Then people from various organizations, schools, colleges invited me to give lectures about traditional food, traditional lifestyle, those things. That is the Aramdana is almost all the chapters. Every chapter I wrote about millets and traditional lifestyle and social issues. All those things.
At
it's a
that time,
column.
you were a Siddha doctor?
Yeah, started my practice from 1993 onwards. I finished my graduation from 1987 to 92 at Government Siddha Medical College. Immediately after my house surgeonship, I started my practice. So basically, I am a practitioner. Earlier, after finishing my graduation, I started my practice in the morning hours, evening hours. Morning hours, I was working for a food company. So there only I got a big interest in the food. I understand the nuances of the food manufacturing. Another thing, very importantly, the food politics I know at that time only. So during that period, I had a good exposures with academicians as well as with the industrialist people also. So there is a very big game-changing era, I can say, between 96 to 2004. After 2004, only I sticked on my practice.
What happened in that era, sir? What happened?
At that era, I was actually one of the team in the in our rice industry, where we have a lot of broken rices. See, every big rice industry, there is a big challenge. They bought the whole rice, and while processing, they will get a lot of broken rice. And broken rice will have a very cheap value. So the broken rice, they will sell it for flour as well as for the glue making. Those things only they will. So for that, the price will be very low. So our company want any kind of value-added product you can make it with the rice flour. So I finished my PhD program in anti-asthmatic medicinal plants. So where I was interested to whether we can able to make any functional foods with herbs and some kind of staple starch and all. So I proposed a plan of why don't you come up with some low glycemic rice. So that is the first idea I proposed to my company. So at that time I was joined as a research assistant. So my principals and my seniors, they were fascinated with the word low glycemic. At the time, throughout the world, only oats has been studied with the low glycemic principle and all. Not much work has been done. One professor from University of Sydney and another one professor at University of Toronto. They both only wrote a lot about low glycemic oats and low glycemic certain granola bar, something. That is the year around 2001-2. So at the time we started whether we can able to make some low glycemic rice. Low glycemic, some traditional rice food and all. Just blending with some herbs or processing with some herbal extracts. At the time I was working with that area. But during that research period, we met a lot of researchers, both side, in the academic side as well as industry, how it looks as a food. So I got a big thing at the time. One point of time, I met one professor Malleshi. He's actually professor of CFTRI, Center for Food Technology Research Institute. At the time, he showed one grain he make in his hand. It was a little yellow round grain, small grains. He shown to me, do you know my guy? You are working with rice and all. This is from your Tamil Nadu, he showed me. I saw that it's a millet, sir, but I didn't know the name. It was happened in 2001, 2 something. He showed me this foxtail millet. It is one of the best millet and it is one of the traditional rice. And you people all forget about these kind of traditional and you are doing value addition in the normal rice and all. So that is actually giving a big spark. And he asked me to read a book by Dr. Gopal. He was a former Director General of National Institute of Nutrition. He is actually founder of National Institute of Nutrition. He had wrote a wonderful book, Indian Nutritional Foods. It's a very simple book. I still remember it. I bought it for 35 rupees. It is now available in a valued book. It is available in the PDF in the ICMR website itself. That book actually opened my eyes. There they put a lot of millet information, how much protein it is there, how best it is better than the rice, what are the other minor elements are there, and many small articles and each and every how about bajra, how about little millet, how about processed millet, everything they had written a small book. So after reading that, I thought, why don't we reuse this all of the older culinaries and all. Then I slowly collected information about the traditional recipes and traditional information about various millets and started reading about the research inferences of millets and all, hear what they had done. Then parallelly I started working with Nammalwar team and all, where we propagate the traditional rice varieties and traditional millets in spite of the genetically modified food. So the genetically modified foods are coming. They are saying it is good nutrition, good crop, and giving more yield. Those kind of information they are giving. Then we have to give to antagonize those things. We have to tell how best our traditional food. So in that context, I started reading, and I started talking about these millets.
So you think that our traditional millets or food can completely replace?
No, sir. That I won't. First important thing, I am not a big nutritionist or I am not a dietitian. First, a disclaimer I have to tell. See, definitely there are many good things in millet and traditional rices, but the modern scientific community, with the Western analytical eyes, it should explore all the possibilities with the millets. There are many hidden traits. There are many untapped scientific data are there. So we should, without any professional differences, professional ego, we have to look into that carefully, then tell the community whether it is good or bad. So I don't have any, I am dispassionate. There are many good things in millets that I can strongly say, because for the last 2,500 years, people are using. Nobody had a big complaint. If suppose one particular practices or one particular food which is not suitable to them, definitely it will last. It will be lost. That kind of lost happen around the world. You might very well aware about every community used certain crops, certain medicine, then it will last. One particular crop is long last for 1,500 years, 2,000 years. Some kind of benefit will be there. And another important thing, forget about the nutrition and therapeutic benefit, the social and agricultural point of view, I started in that way only. Millets were marginalized for the people who are in the grassroots, socially in the backward, untouchable classes. That is one of the fundamental reason I took it back. தமிழில் ஒரு ரொம்ப சோறுங்கிற வார்த்தையவே வந்து they said that சோறு is a very ordinary word. They make it as a sadam. Sadam is upper class word. Soru is for a lower class word. And they scold people like that. That is a very, very pricking word. So what it means, people who can take rice is upper class. People who are taking the millets and all, marginalized people who are working as laborers in the field. So that is the real scenario here for the last 200, 300 years. Then I thought, why these kind of millets are very good in health and very good is good, but people are thinking that is only for the marginalized people and all. So we started exploring all these possible. Second, as an environmental point of view, rice and wheat is a highly water intensive crop. Millet is a non-water intensive crop. It doesn't require any much water. If you compare rice, to produce 1 kg rice, we need 3,000 to 3,500 liters water. 1 kg rice.
Wow.
Whereas 1 kg millet, we don't need water at all. Just 2 or 3 liters is enough. It's a manavari pair, we say, only rain-fed crops. So with the rain, it will grow. So environmentally, it is if you replace rice with millet, it is good for the earth. Second thing, to cultivate the rice, to cultivate the wheat, we need right now the practices using of a lot of fertilizers, pesticides, those kind of modern interventions are a lot of intervention. That will add on cost to the farmer. That will add on cost to the farmer, as well as it will spoil the earth. So ecologically, for the earthworm, for the entire bacteria, as you a lot of time you are telling that gut bacteria is good for the health. Same thing, the soil bacteria is good for the plant. If you spoil the gut bacteria, that will affect our health. The same thing, if you spoil the soil bacteria, it will affect the soil. That is very, very fundamental. That's why the entire One Health concept, save the soil, save the water, save the earth. So in that context also, millets are good. So my prima facie is first promoting millet mainly for environmental as well as social cause is the first reason. So if you started propagating it is good for the earthworm, it is good for the health, then nobody will listen. Then I started telling it is good for your gut, it is good for your eyes. See, this is having beta carotene so that your eyes will be good. It is having a lot of fiber, it is good for diabetic, it is having protein, it is good for. Then that social self-motive person started, oh, it is good for me. Then I can see. This is the way I transferred that millet into the public.
Wow. Amazing. Sir, what is your favorite millet?
My favorite millet, I can say two. One is Ragi, another one is Thinai. Finger millet. That both I used to take a lot of in my regular diet.
Thinai is what? Which?
Thinai finger millet. Thinai is
Millet.
foxtail
millet. Okay. The reason I'm doing this podcast in English is that I have
people will know
30% English audience. I know that all Tamil audience is going to scold me. Why are you making it?
We can talk little Tamil, little English like that.
So Ragi. How do you incorporate in your lifestyle?
Ragi, we will make it as usually Ragi is one of the normal culinary in Tamil people. We in my school days onwards they used to Ragi puttu, Ragi kali, Ragi mottai. Those things very common in Tamil people. And Ragi is on those days even in my mother say Ragi is one of the best good for your bone and all. She is not a doctor. She don't know whether it is having calcium or not. But that ethnic practices, they know Ragi is good for the health. You know the in the weaning period, usually after the mother milk, after 6 months afterwards, when we started introducing the other rice and millet, the first choice will be Ragi.
You're talking about delivery?
No, on weaning period. For the mother, not for the mother, for the child.
For the child.
For the child, 6 months they give only breast milk.
Correct.
From the 6th month onward, they started. At the time, the first thing they soak Ragi, and they just soak Ragi and crush it and squeeze the milk from the Ragi, and just they make it as a small kanji paste. That is one of the ideal food for the child. That is a weaning period. This practices is very well in Andhra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, particularly in the northern Tamil Nadu, Dharmaburi, Krishnagiri, those areas, Ragi fed area. So that is the main weaning food for the child.
But in metropolitan cities, it is not Ragi.
Not based. Much at
it
the time.
It is Cerelac.
Even CMC people, the Christian Medical College, well, that they usually scold you people all go with the tinned bottle food. You go with the. He usually asked one allopathic pediatric professor. His name is Chaco something. He used to tell the high calorie meal is your rice and moong dal kanji. Make rice 1:1:3 portion. He asked to take 1 bowl of rice and 1/3 bowl of the moong dal. Just crush it, fry it, and make a paste. That is better than all the tin food, he used to say. He always say as a high-calorie meal. But we forgot because of the industry's push and all, easy to take, all those things. But Ragi is good for the children, women, because it has a lot of calcium. And another thing, that phenolic compound, the color, the maroon red color, is because of the polyphenols. And polyphenol, it is one of the good for that. So Ragi is one of the best thing. Ragi, when it is, if you take a total millet, Ragi is having little high glycemic. If you compare with the finger millet, podo millet, proso millet, kodo millet, all if you compare, Ragi is little bit high glycemic. But some people still arguing with me, no, when it is soaked and sprouted, it is not much high glycemic, they say. But in general, Ragi is one of the highly nutrient food. And as you said, people, for the children, growing children, if they want little bit of more protein and more calcium, particularly, I used to recommend for the people, you want to become a good sports person, take Ragi a lot.
So I have feeling it's because of complex carbs.
Maybe.
And complex carbs doesn't get digested easily.
That way we say that complex carb, we will have a two word we used to say. One is smart carb, or another thing is resistant starch. Both are there. Smart carb, it's a jingy word. That smart carb, the amylose will get into a resistant starch, so that it won't absorb fast. That's one of the main point. Even the varagu, little millet and kodo millet as well as little millet, both are.
What is little millet in Tamil?
Little millet is actually
the thinai.
No, little millet is samai.
Samai.
Kodo is varagu, little is samai, proso is pani varagu, and foxtail is thinai.
Thinai. Wow. Sir, let's say I want to eat ragi. Okay, I soak overnight, and then what I think the dish that I know is ragi dosa.
That is good. Why means two things is happening. One is soaking, another thing is fermenting. Both are happening Ragi dosa. So soaking as well as sprouting, both will reduce the anti-nutrient. Little bit, not fully. At least 50% reduce the anti-nutrient. So that soaking is very good. And when you make as a batter and make it as a little fermenting, it will have a little bit of more probiotics also there. So as a dosa, you can take definitely. And another important thing for people who are diabetes or who are Weight Watchers or you want to reduce your weight and all, I used to say don't take it in the form of idli, dosa, batter. You have to take it as a whole grain, whatever. That samai, varagu, whatever thing, you make it as a full rice or as a pongal or puliyodare, whatever you take, or a vegetable rice, you make as a full grain. If it is a full grain with a semi-polished grain, then you will have the glycemic index will be very low, as well as the nutrient factor will be preserved. So that if you make as a fine-tuned powder or fine batter itself, yes, still you will get some nutrient and all, but it will be a little bit more glycemic. If your glycemic index is for a full grain, if it is around 55, 60, if it is a batter, definitely it will be 65, 70. So if it is high glycemic, that is not a much beneficial for a people who are diabetic.
Yeah. So tell me again, so you have ragi, you soak it,
Yes, okay.
and then don't make it a batter.
Yeah, make it as a if you want to make a dosa, you have to make it as a batter. That's
But
fine.
alternatively,
For other people, you can just soak it and boil it. Just boil and take rice. As a rice from the whole grain, it will become ragi and it will become little pasty and
Correct.
it's not like if you make just soak it and boil varag, little millet, then that will be like a rice at all. But ragi don't look like a individual grain. It will be little pasty because it will easily the batter like it will come. But for people who want a diabetic, you can take varagarisi, samayarisi as a rice. And add you a lot of vegetable. Another important thing for a millet, people who want to take millet also, you should not take more millet also. Millet also you have to take it in little form. They think that rice you have to reduce, millet you can take a lot. Not like that. Millet also you have to, because it's also carbohydrate. But with little low glycemic, more fiber, more electrolytes will be there. That's the best benefit out of that.
So I do talk shows in the US. Okay, I go and talk about all my things in our medical.
You are very popular. You cannot say like that.
Like a medical stand-up comedy way. So then people host me the night before. I went into a dinner. They had everything. Everything is millet, foxtail, everything. Thinai, varaga, saman. I looked at them. I said, "Hey, ungalam paathe saapradama theriyala." I said, "No, we only made for you, doctor. Forest biryani is another room." But the practice is catching up.
Yeah. Even in Chennai, very big star hotel, 7-star hotel, they have one day with complete millet food. One time, one person invited me. We only used to go to those kind of big hotel. One person, you should come, doctor. You have to come and see. At the time, I see a millet dinner. You know the cost? Indian cost is 3,999. I was shocked to see. At that time, he made all the millet based. I want to see the chef actually. I requested that person. யாராவது இருக்காங்களா அப்படின்னு கேட்டா. The chef came. He's a Frenchman. He's not a Tamil man. He came and that my friend has introduced me that he is one of the doctor. He used to write about millet and all. He started teaching me, see sir, this millet is good for this millet is good. He started telling. I was one way, it's happy. Okay. Yes. On those days, 20 years before, when I talked about Thinai, those people will ask, which Thinai? Kurunji, Mullai, Neidal? They used to make fun out of me with Thinai and all. Nobody knows about that. In 2002, nobody knows about Thinai. Wow. Another important joke factor is when I asked Thinai and all, then the country shop people, they will tell that other person, see, this guy is asking the cereal which we used to give it for lovebirds, take it and give it. I wrote in the Ananda Vigadan like that, if you take Thinai, you will also make good love with as lovebirds. Then everybody started, okay. We will start taking Thinai at least. So we have to position it. I thank to lovebirds. Still they are keeping Thinai for a
all
long
Gen
time.
Z is behind you. Sir, how about this millet biscuit?
Yeah.
Millet,
One thing is important that, the fever era of millet is going everywhere, it's coming. I used to remember when Horlicks come, they will ask, why don't you take Horlicks and all? It's all soya protein, whey protein, everything. You started taking your own Sattu Mavu, like that, I will tell. Now Horlicks is coming with a multi-millet Horlicks. Now it is coming, they branded. So why I'm telling, when a space is coming for a sale, when a commercial things is happening, everybody wants to come up with their product. Like that, these biscuits, noodles, pastas, everything is now coming with millet. One important thing you have to understand, when it is get processed, definitely it will lose its nutrient value a little bit. At the same time, second question is come, then we cannot able to take it at all. How we can take like that? So at least apart from, at least instead of taking the other junks like plain maida, plain all flour, let us take at least this kind of thing. So those kind of acceptance is with me also. You take little millet based biscuits or millet based noodles and all. At least without maida. Maida, I am still, why I am telling is, maida is also coming from the wheat, and it is helping for with the bun and breads and for the lot of community, and there are certain benefits out of there. But completely with parathas and completely with maida based things, which is not at all good for the health. So those people only we tell, you take, instead of those kind of plain maida and all, if you take these kind of millet based flour, millet based pastas or anything, if you take, it is good.
So maida is extremely bad for the gut. Right? It's called all-purpose flour in US.
In US you were telling all-purpose flour. I always ask my sister and all, what is all-purpose? You can make pasta, you can make noodles, you can make chapati,
make bread, anything,
everything.
And also pay for the gastroenterologist as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll not believe, sir, all the US people, most of them are constipated.
Yep.
Two reasons. One is all these white bread because of no fiber. Second is meat consumption is significantly higher. And fiber is very good. So we did a research.
Yep.
We said that, you eat all-purpose flour. Let's see what is happening with the good gut bacteria in the large intestine. So one group, they ate all-purpose flour. The second person was eating all these alternate grains with high fiber. Yeah. We could clearly see the stool microbiome that we are looking at. It is 50% getting depleted in this group.
Okay.
50% depleted in the group. And then this person, yes, the stool did they lose weight for that? No, they did not lose weight, but their blood glucose marker, cholesterol, everything got better. There was like 3-4 months of time.
Okay.
So then we assume that, so the gut bacteria needs fiber.
Yep.
The fiber is you're not giving to maida. At least you should give something else.
Another important thing in India, the problem is certain countries, Western countries, I think in European countries and all, while making maida, the removing of that external wheat, external things, is certain percentage only allowed. Here they make almost 60% only they are getting from the wheat. So they want a white, very fine, soft powder. It is nothing but glucose and other.
So they remove the husk almost completely? Almost completely.
In the same thing which is not allowed in the Europe, which is not allowed in the Canada. So that each country has separate rules. And apart from that, I heard there are people, they are using certain varieties of glutens in that. After making all polishing, all this done, they are adding certain chemicals to make it puff. To make a paratha puff and you make the bread puff. For that they are adding agents. That is another issues. So better not to take, that's the best way. The commercial approach, they will all use.
Is it not controlled by the food authority?
See, rules are there. The rules are regularly, always they have certain rules will be there. That implementation by the people, the first thing, the manufacturer should have the responsibility. As well as the consumer also should have the knowledge, whether it is having, see how many people as a layman in India or a common grassroots man in India look the nutrition facts and percentage. That is the problem. Why the problem is that there are several other issues are in their mind. So they cannot able to, for a person who is having a lot of hunger, want to take some food within 20 rupees, what is available, those people cannot able to see the nutrition facts and everything. They have only how much money we can spend for this night. This is the scenario here. So in this condition, The top authority should only will have a full edge over that. We should not give any junk or anything to the common man. Another thing here, the common man spending for his any major illness from the out of the pocket. Not the government is supporting everyone.
Correct.
Most of the people, they have to spend money from them. So it's a quite difficult area. So here we have to, the superior authorities always should have a control and all. Then
I think
only we
ethical.
can control. That is ethical.
How does your breakfast looks like?
My breakfast. Now it is morely with fruits and nuts. Usually fruits and nuts. Today morning I had taken one appam because one guest was there at home. I have one appam with
Nuts is which nuts?
Which nut? Usually the chundal form, definitely some chundal will be there. Usually moong dal, that green dal we will have.
Like you soak and then you put it in.
That will sprouts, we will make it in the home itself. Or sometimes if we don't make sprouts, we will just like a chundal. Cook it
boil
cook it, and with little pepper we will add, some coconut grates we will add. That we will take. Chundal
Every
will be
day?
almost 3-4 days. Definitely 3-4 days.
I mean, either sundal or something else in the morning.
Sundal, sprouts or things there. And I used to take badams or 10 or 12 badams. Every time will be there.
Soaked
badam. That I will take. And other things.
One question.
Almost.
You remove the skin?
Remove the skin. Every day I'm not there. I'm not doing. Sometimes they will do. And still there is $1 million question, why you want to remove? Because some people says it will stuck in the throat and it will give some harm. And when I read it in the milk, that skin itself will have a lot of fibers and good for it. So when I soak it, they will take it. Otherwise, I will take it as such.
It's not a big deal.
Big deal, yes. And fruits now I like to take in the morning hours. I take something, banana, apple, guava, something we will take.
You don't eat anything else?
Eggs regularly. Egg
No, for breakfast.
Breakfast, I take this. This is 70-80% will be there. Millet-based food, because I am promoting millet, a lot of millet will be there in my home. So always we used to make. Yesterday we have a varagarisi pongal. Yesterday we made varagarisi pongal. Today, because some guest was there, we made a appam with tengai chambal in the Sri Lankan chambal. So just grind with onion.
Is that millet appam?
No, appam is rice appam. Today is we take rice appam. Mostly 5 days will be millet will be there. Millet. Sometime 1 day or 2 day will be there, either idli. Idli always we make it with mapale chamba. That red rice idli. Red rice idli is very famous. And red rice dosa, onion dosa also.
So red rice idli tastes better?
Better. Always if you started taking the red rice idli, you will definitely won't appreciate the white idli. It has some kind of tangy with starchy feel you can get it with the red rice. And red rice, even better than the idli, the dosa will be very good if you make with the red rice.
But I've heard that the cooking process is slightly difficult with red rice.
Not like that. We have to soak little bit more. If you take it in the karupu gauni, then that you have to strain little bit. Because karupu gauni, you don't immediately get soaked. Maybe if you make a rice, you have to soak it for at least 2-3 hours. 3 hours soak. Then you have to cook it 4 times. So add water you have to add. And 6-7 whistles you have to make it. Then you have to take. Then only it will well cooked. Because it has an external shell will be little hard. So that it won't easily cooked. But not in the red rice. That mapale chamba. In the red rice, there is 2 big variety. One is mapale chamba, very common. Another one is nyavara. It's a Kerala variety.
I see.
Nyavara rice is very popular with the Ayurvedic physician. Nyavara rice, they will make it as a kanji, as well as for external therapy also they will add they use the kanji for that. Nyavara kili, they say. Nyavara kili kanji for people who are having hemiplegia, hemiparesis. They do massage with the oil and they make the porridge and do massage with that also. Nyavara is having external benefit also there. And people who are in the specific medicine, we say always patya, no? In that patya, Nyavara they will give.
Patya is in Siddha, no?
Yeah, Siddha and Ayurveda also will be there. Food restriction, that's all. Patya is nothing big. If you come, diabetic people come, you'd say, don't take sugar, carbohydrate like that. We will also tell certain things, that's all. Based on our system is basically based on taste, that food taste matters. So what you are taking, which taste you are taking, based on that your constitution will be there. So that some ailment, for example, a person coming with asthma, then we will immediately say don't take sweets. So in allopathic perspective, what is having sweet? You can say antihistaminic aspect, you can say. You can avoid allergens and all. That is meaning according to allopathy. But according to Siddha, sweet will produce more water in your lung. More sweet is made up with earth and water. So if water is more, that will produce more mucus in your lungs. So that's why we say always, if a person who is having sinusitis or person who is having asthma, we always ask him to avoid this sweet. At the same time, if a person is coming with osteoarthritis, where the synovial membrane become dry and they have crepitation here, at the time we say avoid tamarind and astringenic food. Puliduvar vinjikin vadam Tamil. So astringenic food means more dry, it will produce more dryness. In Tamil we can explain tuvartal na ulardal, dry. So in the old age their synovial membrane become dry, then the bone space get narrow, then they may have a little crepitation and all. They need little bit of moisture in that area. So for that we should avoid astringenic and tamarind based pulipa, sour taste food. We asked to avoid other food. So taste matters for us. So every for diseases we ask to what kind of food you are taking. So based on the test we will alter.
So this moves to the next segment, which is a very controversial segment. I think I'm just going to talk frankly.
No.
And feel free not to answer if you're not comfortable. Sir, for example, the paste that we were talking about, red rice paste, applying externally. What I am thinking is that, in my opinion, allopathy is not complete. It's not complete. I strongly feel that it needs to be integrated with other alternative options as well, including Ayurveda, Siddha. But I also understand where allopathic doctors are coming from, where they are saying that, okay, so you are saying all this thing, where is the evidence? Is there any science-backed evidence? So, for example, if I give amlodipine, it's a blood pressure medication, you give hypertension, it decreases the systolic blood pressure by 20 millimeter mercury in 3 to 6 months. How do I know? There is like 10,000, 100,000 people studied, so look at the results. It's a good way that we are following evidence-based medicine, but sometimes you cannot do everything all the time. You cannot. So the biggest argument is that, okay, so what is the evidence behind this? From my opinion, I am completely against supplements, where it is not being regulated. So the reason I'm telling that is that, sir, the ashwagandha is a big thing over here. I'm not against ashwagandha. I don't know much about it. But I saw a patient, 26-year-old, ashwagandha supplement. She was already healthy. She wanted to optimize her health. Took the ashwagandha supplement. 2 days later, comes in with complete yellowness of the body. Liver is completely shut down. And being a liver specialist, I was being called to evaluate the patient. Unfortunately, we were not able to save the liver at all. She underwent liver transplant at the age of 26 by transferring to University of San Francisco, which is a major hospital over there. Just because of that supplement, right? So can this happen to everybody? Probably not. But is it worth taking that risk? That is where allopathic doctors are really concerned. From a Siddha point of view, from alternative, how do you think we should look at all this?
That's a very, very important debate happening every part of the world. Whenever I met allopathic friends like you, these kind of conversation is happening. First things that I will very strongly tell, the dialogue should start from both the physician. First thing, I won't listen. That is kind of that inhibition I often hear from my allopathic friends. I don't know about this. I won't listen because I didn't learn all these things in my curriculum of education. So this inhibition we have to break. I want to listen you and you should also listen me what is happening, first point. Second thing, yes, I 100% agree we need evidence. Evidence-based medicine only, the future of the world is with evidence-based medicine. We have to come up with the evidence. Right now what evidence we have only experiential medicine. It's not a evidence-based medicine, it's an experiential based. Sometimes myth or sometimes some kind of how I can say empirical way of the understanding those kind of medicine will be there. But very recently, I can say for the last 30-40 years, there is one word we always, Dr. Ashok Vaidya, he is an allopathic physician only, from the president of Ragi and all, very senior researcher. He used to tell the word reverse pharmacology. See, you allopathic physician always first study the molecule from the molecule to bedside. It is the allopathic way of pharmacology. So how best the molecule is there, what is the probable mechanism might be, how the molecule will attach with the inhibitor or attach with the specific, then yes, it is attaching in the lab level and it is attaching in the mice level, whether it will be attaching in the higher animals and whether it is a pilot level, whether we will try.
Correct.
Then you will go
Human
for
studies.
a human study, then randomized clinical
Correct.
trial, post-market. This is the way you are treated. And what I will say, we also want to know whether it is working in the mice, and we have to understand the pharmacokinetic, we have to understand the pharmacological pathway. We know. But before that, there is one point is there is a large number of experiential evidences are there. Whether it is passionate or dispassionate is a big question again. Sometimes, if you get one particular lead from a dispassionate evidence, why don't you both of us look into that? Yes, one particular decoction, kashayam or tablet is working on this person. Then reversely we have to work. Yes, it is working. Then how it works, that we have to find out. How it works, is it for that person, for a community? You are told about the history of ashwagandha for some of your patients. It is one lead.
Correct.
You understand it's happening because of that one product. Then the second question, it is for the only one person, or ashwagandha itself will cause everyone. That is the question arises second. Because ashwagandha is a Withania somnifera, one plant. Withaniloid is an alkaloid which is present in the Withania somnifera, which is work as an adaptogenic, anti-inflammatory. A lot of claims are there, a lot of research are there. For my knowledge, I didn't know that whether it is having some hepatotoxic action on that, I don't know. Because in my work and all, in my learnings, I didn't find that hepatotoxic action of ashwagandha. Maybe you have one lead.
Correct.
That lead, we have to work reversely, whether that is causing the problem or the preparation. What extract they had taken, what fractional extract they had, whether it is an alcoholic extract, aqueous extract, benzene extract, a lot of extracts are there. Or it is a crude powder. If it is a crude powder, where the plant from that? The geographical variation might be there. Climatic variation might be there. There are many, many questions. As a scientific community, we have to think all these way. So, we need to give a dispassionate opinion about any kind of medicine with the robust of research. That is, I fundamentally agree. So, here, we need an integrated research. Persons like you, person like modern physicians, scientists, they should all work together. I should work with the person. If you are a gastroenterologist, for a person, sometimes I may claim, sir, this medicine will be good for the healing the ulcer. We have a lot of evidence. Then we should both work together, should study whether in the animals it's working, in whether it is working in what is the pathway, what is the safety phenomena, those things. So it need a integrative work. The problem, every time when modern science asks about evidence, one important point, a drug, if it is should be invented, one pharma company, minimum they should spend $1 billion. Usually, if you want to come up with one molecule, $1 billion is required. Siddha Medicine's entire industry is only 250 crore. Entire industry, I can say, all the medicine and all. If you take Ayurveda, 80% of the Ayurveda is a Chyawanprash and other general tonic. So, there is no big market or big business in there. So, pharma company won't come and do the research. Whether if you come up with a big lead, if suppose like how the Yu Tun, the Chinese professor who got a Nobel Prize for the medicine, she also take it from a Chinese decoction. She found one decoction is good for the fever with rigor. She studied for 23 years. Then she come up with the artemisinin, one drug for anti-malarial drug. So those kind of robust research from the modern community, Western modern community and botany, everybody should work together. Then only we can make evidences. How here we feel little bit hurted every time. You come with evidence. The word I will always hear from the other people. How I can come up with it without your shaking hands with you, or how we can shake hands with the people in the pharmacy or other people. Then only I can come up with the evidence. So my request for the Western analytical community, Western doctors everywhere, we will all work together. We'll look into the thing. either whether it is acting or not. And then another important thing, I won't never say all our medicines are 100% efficacy, all our medicine will do wonders. I will never say. We have a lot of limitation. And in the last 2500 years, there are many junks also inside. There are many superstitions also inside. So we have to remove the junk, remove the superstition, then only we can come up with good flower.
So the other angle to this is, sir, so let's say that we're open to integrative medicine. Let's say I am open, to be honest. I strongly believe that the brain-gut axis cannot be controlled only with medications. It needs to be lifestyle, it needs to be some other interventions as well. But that opens up an angle for all the fraudsters. Right?
Can I repeat?
All the fraudsters.
Yeah, definitely.
They're coming up with, take this supplement and...
See, this is one of the biggest issue. Even in Siddha, Ayurveda, everywhere. The fraudsters and as well as people who are with the tall claim that I can treat cancer in 1 week. I will eradicate all these things. This is the biggest humbug, particularly after the social media era. Anyone can talk, anyone can do things. Those kind of, that will hurt a lot. Even for people like us, always whenever I see another thing, and what will happen, we will talk something about, I talked about black jeera. Karanjeeragam is good for health. In an open talk, I told Karanjeeragam on those days they had taken a lot and it is good anti-inflammatory, the thymokinin content is good, like that we will tell. The people, they cut, edit and do it, and they, that black jeera will do wonder, it is a panacea, it will treat cancer, everything they will put it. And one time I heard, I never forget the name, one lady came with a very small child, say 8 months, 9-month-old child, she's breastfeeding her. She's asking me whether I can give 2-3 drops of Karanjeeragam every time along with my mother milk. My child should not suffer cancer in her old age. My grandfather already has cancer. So I was panic at the time. What you are telling? You should only breast milk kind of thing. Why you are telling? Because the way message conveyed to them very easily through the social media, and with their sick mind and panicky mind, they think that something will give me a big relief and miracle will happen like that. So this kind of issue really bothers us. And people also expect miracles everywhere. For a person diabetic, can you able to cure diabetic? Never. When you can be able to completely eradicate without medicine, you cannot. With your proper diet, with your proper lifestyle modification, exercise, along with medication, whether it's modern medicine or Ayurveda, whatever it is. But the primary is your diet and lifestyle. So with that only we have to come up. They think that social media, they are getting few information. They thought this will do a miracle healing to me. I stop all medicine, doctor. Those kind of way. That is very wrong. So these one thing, unethical practices, unethical tall claims should be banned, should be properly...
Banned by whom, sir? The government?
See, government has a major role. Even government should take action against them. Another important thing, those kind of people who are talking in the mass medias with the tall claims as well as they are all, sometimes they are become antisocial elements. Even government is having a little fear over the people. So a very poor doctor, they cannot able to raise voice at all. So I always tell that, see, this is the information era. The whole world is information era. In your phone, you will get a lot of information. Information never be a knowledge. If you got information, yes, I got a good information from Dr. Paul. Okay, you got information from, go and talk to your general physician. Tell, I heard Dr. Paul told like that. Can I use that? That is the best way to go out. Dr. Sivaraman told like this. Whether it is correct, doctor, I can use it. You have to ask your family physician. You just, because another one person's benefit is not another person's prescription. Never. One person benefit, he may sometime, some individuals may tell, I took this and become normal and all. That may be one person's experience. It's not a clinical trial or it's not a robust research outcome.
The same thing will go, one person's adverse effect might not be the same thing.
Same thing for others, both way. So the poor problem is the gap between the physician and the patient.
I'll tell you from my allopathy, when we take an oath, Hippocrates' oath is do no harm.
Do no harm.
Do no harm, right? Everybody takes that. So now they are saying that, if we are opening up this to all these supplements without any significant regulatory, then aren't we not following the oath?
Yeah, that's true. What I say, we need not to endorse or we not to prescribe those things. But we should come forward to work for this. That's why I am telling.
How is the situation in Tamil Nadu?
In Tamil Nadu also the same thing, same issues are there. But personally, because of the, we started documenting, we started dialogue. This, one important thing I would like to document here, it's all happened. Whatever all I am taking is because of my professor. He is Dr. C.N. Devanayagam. He is my PhD professor. He is an FRCP. He is an MBBS FRCP.
He's an allopathy
and
doctor.
allopathy doctor. He was, when I finished my BSMS, I applied for PhD. And for my PhD, I talked to him as a mentor. So he is my guide, co-guide for the PhD program. Because he is a very, very fond of Tamil language, he is always encouraging Tamil medicine. So he accepted me as a student and gives signature. From the day 97 onwards, I was with him for the 16, 17 years. He is an allopathic physician, I am a Siddha physician. We used to sit together like this. After his retirement, he started his practice in Red Cross Society. He sit like that, I myself sit like that, the patient will be here. So he will look, the BP he will see. Then he said 210, 100. This cannot be treated by allopathy, Siddha. This cannot be treated by Siddha. He is having 210, 100. I will write amlodipine, tell me Satan. Like that he will write. Then he will give the same prescription to me, teach him some breathing exercise, what diet he should not take, write. I will write. Then he will go. Next time he will come, after taking tell me Satan, now I am 130, 90, 130, 80. He will tell, don't stop this medicine. For hypertension, you should take regularly. But start his supplement from now. Then same prescription I will write. You do Sitali Pranayama. You do these kind of exercises. You take some hibiscus tea. I will write. So these kind of practice we did for 10 years. Still he was alive. He died 6-7 years before. First we started only for the HIV people. HIV patients. He was he was a TB sanatorium superintendent. So there they admitted all HIV patients. For HIV people, we started this kind of integration. Then we slowly, for the tuberculosis we started, and for diabetic hypertension also we started. So now what we say, there are several questions arrived at the time. How you can write both? Both drugs bioavailability will be different. One's bioavailability, it may interfere others. Those kind of, yes, still the question is there. There are very few in Purdue University as well as John Hopkins and Mayo. They started small studies, drug-drug interaction. They are come up with some papers. There are some good outcome also there. There are some bad outcome, like always in the cancer. One paper recently I studied, very good paper. They should usually turmeric they are asked to take regularly for the cancer patient. For a breast cancer patient, breast cancer survivor, after the surgery, after the chemo, if it is ERPR positive, then they ask to take the estrogen blocker, the tamoxifen,
medication,
taken for 5 years, 10 years. One beautiful paper I read, if you take tamoxifen along with turmeric, the effect of tamoxifen will reduce. That's very dangerous. They need to avoid the estrogen response for a long time. So what we will do, if you want to take tamoxifen with turmeric, you take in the morning. It will be digested within 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It will be. Then evening tamoxifen you can take. So these kind of information is vital for drug interaction and all. So I insist the government as well as the professional bodies and all, if allopathic physician, Ayurveda, Siddha, any physician work together, first understand the drug interaction, a protocol which one drug should not affect the others' bioavailability. If you come up with, suppose the cost of medicine will reduce, the duration of treatment will reduce, and the acceptance also will be good. So these kind of work to be evolved. I think in US, UK, everywhere they started thinking about this.
Correct, sir. Yeah.
In many big universities, I say in Cleveland, they have a big clinic of Society for Integrative Oncology. They do treat with the Tai Chi, Chinese medicine with allopathy. Then why not it's possible with Siddha and allopathy in Tamil Nadu? That's why my question. When Western countries where they don't have their own traditional medicine, they took from China, they took from Ayurveda when they did wonderfully, and even insurance is supporting that kind of integration. Why not you are not integrating? That's my question for my colleagues here. So
I think it will change. It will change slowly. That trust should be there.
Yes, exactly.
On both sides.
Trust should be there. Both should be professionally well. Both should understand the disease well in a scientific manner. And another very, very important, the ethical way of practicing, that also very important. Then only we can come up with the integration.
Super, sir. So this is your favorite topic. Food is medicine. Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of a common favorite of you based on your talks. Okay. So number one is Kadukkai. Kadukkai, in English, what is it? எனக்கு தெரியல.
Chestnut, it says.
Chestnut.
Indian chestnut.
Indian chestnut.
Kadukkai.
How do you tell your patients to use it?
கடுக்காய் வந்து 6 சுவையும் உள்ள பொருள். அது this only having 6 taste. Only 6 taste. Kadukkai is having 6 taste. Each fruit or each nut is having either 2 or 3 tastes will be there. Kadukkai is the only herb which is having 6 taste. For our patient particularly, there is one formula. Kalai inji, kadumbagal chukku, malai kadukkai. Why they put it as malai kadukkai means kadukkai is having a little laxative action. So people, particularly geriatric people who are having little constipation, so one of the best medicine is kadukkai powder. Only thing, that nut of the kadukkai we have to remove. We have to crush it and remove the nut because kadukkai ku ahananju. Internal it is not good. That external shell we have to powder it and take half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon in the night hours. That will give a laxative action. Apart from that, Kadukkai is one of the best immune modulator. It's good for the immunity. That's my...
Super, sir. Super. Nice. Second, you've talked about, what is your take on fenugreek seeds? Vendayam.
Fenugreek is one of the major herb. We used to give it for 2 major things. One is for the diabetic. For the people who are diabetic, either they have to soak it overnight and take it in the morning with the water. Soak it and not only the soaked area, take it along with the water, because fenugreek is having soluble as well as insoluble fiber. If you soak it, the soluble fiber little will come in the water also. You have to drink the water along with the seed. That is one thing. People who are having little bit sinusitis, congestion, throat irritation, those people, better not soak it. Just shallow fry, powder it, half teaspoon morning and afternoon half teaspoon, which is wonderful for the diabetes as well as fatty liver. People who are having grade 1 fatty liver, those people you can take half teaspoon. As well as fenugreek is also having large amount of fiber, good for the digestion as well as the gut biota.
Of course.
And constipation also.
So ways to take it is you soak it.
Overnight soak it.
Add water.
Then
soak it.
Soak it with the water and drink that soaked water, the whole thing you have to drink.
Let me try tomorrow.
Sure. As a gastroenterologist, you can appreciate the gut biota.
How many seeds?
You can take 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon is enough.
Oh, it's very minimal.
Very minimal. That's enough. Morning, if you dry shallow fry and powder it, we always say half teaspoon. In I think 20 grams of fiber per day is requirement.
Correct.
Is that.
25 minimum.
If you take 2 teaspoon of fenugreek, you may get around 10 to 12 grams.
That much
that is very one of the best fiber. And 10 grams if you get it, other than fruits.
So
and
what you're talking about, 100 grams of cucumber will give you only 3 grams.
Yeah, in that case, if you go the fenugreek itself, 4 to 6 grams is there, 1 teaspoon. You can take.
Okay. All right. Third is, you said jeera water. Jeera water. Your take on that?
Yeah, jeera water is one of the best. Seer aham in Tamil. Aham means vairu. Seer means it makes you regulate. So to regulate your stomach, seer aham is one of the best. And basically, according to Siddha, it will cool in your body and reduces the pitta. Pitta is heat, according to Siddha Ayurveda. It's heat. To reduces the heat and cools the body, as well as, and in Tamil we say pojana kodori. That means it's promote the digestion. So after taking your diet, after taking your lunch or breakfast, taking the 1 glass of Jeera water will promote your digestion. And there are many studies with the jeera, that cuminum sebinum botanical name. I had seen several papers about that, how it improves that. And we understand it is a prebiotic. It's not a pro, it's a prebiotic, good for that. So jeera water you can take every day.
So you add jeera, put water?
Yeah, jeera just in the normal vessel, just put jeera, little shallow fry and add water. Boil it. Some people will do, in the boiled water they put 1 teaspoon jeera and close it. whatever way. Jeera is having a very mild volatile content will be there. If you put it in the hot water and put the jeera and close it, you can preserve the volatile content will be there. If you fry and boil it also, you will get the golden color. You get it in the jeera water. That is actually the therapeutic notch.
And you drink it throughout the day or just one?
Actually, you have to take it in the hot form.
Hot
You should
form.
not keep it in the longer time. It won't have much effect. Little warm jeera water is good.
Super, sir, super. And then you talked about ginger lemon tea.
Yeah.
What do your take on that?
And ginger lemon tea is actually to reduce pitta. In the morning hours, we will all have the early morning hours, little pitta will be there. That's why morning ginger with lemon will reduce the pitta is there, as well as it is a kind of energy, it will have a stimulant action also there. So instead of taking a normal tea, you can take ginger with lemon. Because it reduces the pitta, it is good for the migraine and good for the morning headache and all. So that is one of the best tea in the mornings.
Nice, sir. Super, super. So the last one is your take on fresh turmeric.
Yeah. Fresh turmeric, there is one important point we should understand. Turmeric will be absorbed well with the fat. If you take directly turmeric, some people pasam manjala rachi saaptana or 5% தான் absorb ஆகும். If you want to take the benefit of turmeric, it should be added either with little ghee or with milk. On those days, only with the milk with turmeric is the best drink.
Golden milk.
Golden milk. Now, what I told, I have seen in the Starbucks, golden latte, something like that. They put it and they charged me $3.99 last time. Now our people, they say, no, manjapal enna panna porappa. Avan golden latte pannittu. So golden latte is actually good for that, because with the milk, the absorption will be very good in the body. Definitely. Turmeric, there are well-studied herb is turmeric. More than 250 papers, I believe, with the turmeric, how it is good for the, not only cancer and all, it's a very, very small benefits also with the turmeric is there. So every day we should take in some form of turmeric in the
So
diet.
in Indian cooking, we always add turmeric,
Always add,
right?
yeah.
You don't have to take it as a supplement, correct?
Always, sir. The supplements is actually the secondary one. One we cannot able to access with the natural one. At that time, you go with supplement. I also strongly feel, take the ingredient as a food, not as a supplement. That is the first call. Suppose, in case if the person couldn't able to, for example, salmon fish oil is always good for with omega-3, for where we can go in a Tamil Nadu. So we cannot, you may get a salmon fish in your US. For us, we say if you want to get salmon fish oil from a capsule, let us hear you take. Here we can, both the flaxseed as well as salmon, both are having a lot of omega-3. Flaxseed won't grow here. And salmon fish also won't, we cannot. So for that, you can take it in the supplement form. Turmeric, you can take it every day from the kitchen. For that, you need not to go for what I call supplements and all. So we have to be very clear, whichever available in our culinary kitchen, that is enough. And sometimes the adequate quantity might not be required. Might not be, they can take, for example, zinc. Zinc is very much available with the greens as well as peanuts. But if you take more peanut for a case of zinc, that will give gastritis and all other things. So if suppose your doctor or physician is telling your immunity is very low, you should take zinc. At a time you can take zinc supplement. Some people are taking morning I 2-3 supplement, Madhyanam 2-3 supplement, night 2. That is not a best way to go.
So turmeric, then amount of turmeric added in the masala in general Indian cooking is not that enough, correct?
Yeah, actually turmeric bioavailability will be increased with the pepper. If you add with pepper, the bioavailability of the curcumin, that extract, that will be little more. But usually what the amount we are taking is not adequate. For example, people who are having either a cancer survivors or people, their father, mother both are cancer, or some mother is a breast cancer or anything. So for those people, we always advise better to take good polyphenols, good lycopenes, anthocyanin, those kind of. For those people, this might not be adequate. At the time, they can take some supplements.
Okay, sir. Super, sir. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful conversation.
Really, I felt also very happy with you to talk other things. hope this will enlighten many people who
Of
are
course, of
watching.
course. But after talking with you, I'm going to have you again on the podcast.
Thank you.
Of course.
I-
But that's going to be in pure Tamil.
பிரமாதமா
Pramana
பிச்சிரும்.
pitchu vatham.
தமிழ்ல பேசுறதுனா தேனர் மாதிரி அழகா பேசலாம்.
I feel it's injustice to you, so we'll bring you back.
Sure.
We will have other
Definitely,
discussions in your
Definitely.
commanding
It's a
language.
big pleasure to me also. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a wonderful conversation. I had so much fun. Actually, it is true to have an honest conversation between multiple specialities and also multiple different treatment options, and then see, okay, so I can work with you, you can work with me. Let's work together to find the best possible outcome for the patient. I strongly believe in integrated medicine. The only thing I am against is if it is causing any harm to the patient, that is where the problem comes in, and that is where combined integrative approach is the key. I'm sure you learned something new about fenugreek seeds, turmeric, Indian chestnut, and I'm sure that you will include that in your daily habit as well. Please let me know in the comment section who are the other people that you want me to interview. I'm enjoying it. Stay happy, stay gutsy. May God bless you.